Hello everybody, my name is Pixie People. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. And just to remind you, 98 subscribers and 2 away from 100 subscribers. So I'd appreciate it if you aren't subscribed already to subscribe and hit the post notification bells and like the video. And you don't really need to comment. I don't think that's that important compared to liking and watching it. But anyways, let's get into the video. Hope you enjoy. So we continue our what if after Deku has apprehended Stain and has taken a nap after looking on the news of Endeavor taking Deku's credit. So he gets up and, gets ready for school. And he walks outside to see a gigantuan curse spirit. Like, think Maharaga height. Not strength, though. And he looks like an elephant man. With a lot of tattoos of glowing blue. This elephant is gray, by the way. And it then starts boasting its strength, but Deku just clocks it in the stomach. It grabbing its stomach, sitting to a squat position and groaning. Then Deku then shoots it with a red, which blows its head off. And then Deku used blue to pick it up and then slam it into concrete, killing it permanently. Then it dispersed into cursed energy, and then Deku leaves. And when he gets to the class, Aizawa explains that they're going to take a test to give them their pro hero licenses. So Deku then starts theorizing like every other student on what it could be. Most if not everyone thinks it's going to be about little robots again. And some people think it's a written test, and some people think it's a physical test. With the robot people being, that's what they're saying. Doesn't matter. So Deku then settles on the fact that it's probably going to be robots. But when he gets called up by Aizawa to group up, and then he's being paired with Bakugo, a person he doesn't really know. Doesn't know at all. With Bakugo basically being the same. But he's more loudmouth about it, saying why he's paired up with this random. But then the entire crowd of 1A then corrects him, saying he beat you at the sports festival, with Bakugo turning around screaming at them that was a fluke, with them saying yeah, with their hands waving in the air all up. And then Aizawa explains what's going to happen. And then all the pro heroes that work at UA show up with All Might then crashing from the sky. Then he puts cuffs on, with everyone asking why he's doing that. Then he says they're going to fight them to get their hero licenses. So everyone panics, but luckily for them, Aizawa says that most, if not all, their pairings are intentional. Until people start to actually get into their pairs and feel like he just lied to make them feel at ease. Then we see, we'll just skip all the other ones. Then we see Deku and Bakugo walk into the field, with All Might there, ready to pummel the team. And so Deku starts out with trying to just leave. He's gonna just try escaping, because it feels like a waste of time to just fight All Might. But Bakugo keeps fighting All Might anyways, with All Might keeping Deku, basically playing keep away from the exit with Deku, punching him away from it and slamming him through vehicles. Of course, Deku feels it, of course, because All Might's so strong, he's just punching through Deku's infinity, slamming him through a buttload of cars and making him tumble. So then Deku, after receiving this attack, again, he spits out saliva, wiping it from his mouth, him getting irritated, and then he finally throws out a blue, grabbing All Might and slamming him through like a buttload of it. Grabbing All Might, then sending out a red, slamming All Might through like 6 fake buildings. But of course he gets back there really quickly to try to clock Deku. But Baku's there to blow All Might back, barely, so Deku is able to grab Bakugo, and they're able to fly back with Deku's hull flying. With Bakugo yelling at Deku mostly, that why'd he do that, with Deku saying that if he scooted any closer, he would have used me as a bat. Which I think you understand the callback I'm making. It's a scene where Bakugo is used as a slamming tool against Deku. And it was in the anime. Anyways. So, Baku and Deku then just devise a plan to just escape, because this is clearly not possible. So Baku shoots forward and sends out both of his grenade things by grabbing, like basically twisting his hands, grabbing both pins, pulling them out, and then sending out a huge explosion, plus that, to make basically, think like a missile. Just think a missile. That's how big the explosion was. With Deku using this explosion as a cover to fly through. But the plan is going into motion because All Might guesses this plan and goes to punch Deku. But Deku wasn't even there, because Deku was standing right where he wasn't moved at all, and he grabs Bakugo by his leg, throwing him, sending a red into Bakugo's back, sending him through the exit. If you don't understand what I was trying to say, they were predicting All Might would know they would try to escape. So, why not make him think Deku's going to be the exiter, but it's actually going to be Bakugo. So that was their plan. Which then Baku passes through the exit gate, and then All Might puts his fist on his hips and howls in laughter, saying that was an amazing trick. Then, after, all the other fights conclude, Deku and Bakugo get their, license and stuff, and then Aizawa says they're going to go on a field trip to the forest, like a forest trip, for training. So, everyone's like, alright. I guess a day later, they get on the bus and they go, to the forest arc. Then the bus stops randomly with Deku not knowing what's happening. He exits the bus to see the cat lady, saying she's, she feels younger than she actually is. Anyways, we'll just skip to the fact where she destroys the cliff and all of them go tumbling down. Deku slowly floats down, and the rock creature showed up, with Deku immediately shooting a red through one, then using a blue to slam the rest of them that was about to surround them. And then the whole Class 1A just battles through that entire rock monsters. And I'm gonna say they were slightly faster in this version, so they got there before the bus, barely. So, yeah. So Aizawa congratulates them on the whole making there before the bus. So then Aizawa says that for now they're gonna rest and eat food. And so they eat, and then Deku meets Koda. Not in the fashion he did in the original, but he does meet Koda. So, Koda just says he doesn't want anything to do with him, and Deku decides he'll respect Koda's personal space. So, Koda just scoffs at Deku, because, it's the first time a hero actually gave him space. But anyways, Deku then goes to sleep. Next day, they do some training with Deku, of course, learning how to make his reds and blues stronger with a buttload of trash cans or like barrels, I guess, to shoot and grip onto with his blues and use them as projectiles, basically all that. With Deku one time accidentally sending out both blue and red, which then they accidentally smack each other, which makes them both repel from each other, and then they explode after hitting a barrel, with Deku wondering what that was. But Deku's saying that he messed up and he'll just try again. And then he kept trying and trying, and it was working. Then, of course, this is the day where the League of Villains are going to attack. But, yeah. So, then in Class 1A, makes the curry, and Deku sees Koda leaving, but him saying that the guy shouldn't be leaving without any food. So Deku follows him. Because, he's just nice like that. So he goes over to the cliff Koda was at. He flies up there and gives Koda the curry, with Koda being a bit more open because Deku was a bit chill. So Koda then talks to Deku on heroes and why he doesn't like them. But before he can really get into the reason he hates them, Muscular shows up to go punch at Koda, but Deku blocks it fully with his Infinity. Then he shoots a blue, which grabs Muscular. Then he basically pushes him into the mountain, then pulling him out, then slamming him, and doing it over and over and over again, with Muscular then eventually just breaking out of the blue, grabbing the mountain, then pulling a chunk out of the mountain to throw it at Deku. But Deku uses a red to blow it up, with Muscular using this as a time to punch him. But Deku then, remembering that thing he did with the red and blue, he just does that again, but intentionally puts them together, thinking they're going to do the thing they did before. But then Deku feels a different kind of light, opening his eyes to see purple. And then Deku just thinks on the fly, and then puts his thumb and index finger together and says, "Hollow purple." He then shoots the blast, which then hits Muscular and actually hits him with the Toji pose, with half his body being gone. And then Muscular goes to feel where his body is, shocked that it's not there. Deku a bit shocked that killed him. Then blank faces Muscular, with Muscular being mad, but what else is he gonna do? He's dying. So he coughs out blood and falls forward, slamming his face into the ground, eating dirt. So Deku, a bit shaken on the fact that he killed a guy, because he didn't intend to. It's true, he's been killing cursed spirits, but those guys are not human anymore, or aren't human. But Muscular was, and this really hits Deku. But Deku, bottling it up for a second, he grabs Koda and flies over to Aizawa, who is stomping out who just pulled his scarf out of the Dobby clone, with Aizawa saying to give him over to his family. So Deku decides to do that, with him seeing Spinner and I think it was the Magnet Lady. Yeah, the Magnet Lady. But Deku just deals with them with a single blue, slamming both their heads together, knocking them both out. But we see them just get sucked up into a portal and teleported away. Then we see Deku hand over Koda, and then him saying he's going to go save his friends, with them saying to go find their other sister that, can see directions. But of course we know that she's already been kidnapped and already had her court stole in. But yeah. So Deku runs into the forest to go find Bakugo, because I think he overheard Muscular saying before, he hollow purpled him, that they were going to go kidnap this blonde kid with Deku assuming that's Bakugo, considering he's the strongest kid. So he would assume all for one wanted his quirk, not that they wanted all Bakugo to join the League of Villains. But anyways, doesn't matter what's happening. Deku runs into the forest to find Tokiyama, destroying the trees and destroying that teeth guy. Forgot his name. But, you know, I think it was a moonfish. Yeah, moonfish. So he knocks him out. He sees Tokiyama knock him out, so he just leaves him to that. Then he sees the gas guy with the gun, so Deku just walks in there with his infinity, blocking the gas, and punches the guy in the mouth, knocking him directly out. And then Deku runs even further in the forest to find Todoroki shooting at a guy with a mask, with Todoroki then yelling at Deku that he has Bakugo. But so Deku just takes this at face value, so he uses a red to smash, to break Compress's back, or sprain it mostly, so it kind of stuns him. So Compress slams into the ground, rolling, almost throwing the marble out of his hand, but he grips it into his palm. Then we see Dabi show up to shoot a flame at Deku, but Deku uses Infinity to just walk straight through it, gut checking Dabi, with Dabi shocked that Deku did that. Then Deku punches Dabi's chin to make him flip into the air. Then Deku does another unintentional black flash, knocking Stain down on his ass, almost knocking him out, but Dabi, filled with hatred of being hit, he just blows up into a flame and spews fire from his mouth, with Deku walking back because this is actually starting to melt his infinity, kind of. Then we see Compress run through a portal with Dabi breathing even more fire while walking backwards into the thing, shutting his mouth, then entering the portal. Then after Deku, is finally free of the fire, he then yells in enragement because, true, he didn't know Bakugo that much, but still that is his classmate, so that he grew pretty close to, so he's mad. But he can't really do anything now, so he just gathers all the other students up, and then Momo says, after they get out of the hospital, while they're in the hospital actually, and while Kirishima is giving his speech, that she has a tracker on one of the Nomus. So Deku decides he'll go with them, considering Deku is the one that got the least damage, and because he feels like it. Then we see the original group of people that say Bakugo join up together, and then they go. No disguises this time, because Deku couldn't pull one off. Anyways, they get there with Kirishima having that expensive walkie-talkie. Actually, binoculars. Gotta remember those were binoculars. Then anyways, they get to the hideout with, the Nomu experiment lab, and they then hear a giant explosion, with that being All Might trying to save Bakugo, but it doesn't end out too well with an explosion happening. With then all of that group being shot with like a chilling fear of All For One showing up. Then Deku decides to just bolt for Bakugo because he could sense him with the little bit of cursed energy Bakugo kind of has. Forgot to mention this, but most, if not all, of them quirk users Deku has encountered have a little bit of cursed energy. Just a little bit. Compared to Deku's overwhelming amount, it's not a lot. Then Deku runs over to Bakugo, grabbing him, and then using all of his energy to scorch the earth, kind of, by making ripples, pushing the League of Villains out of his way, which makes the League of Villains leave, because there's no reason they're there. So Bakugo gets out of there safely, with All Might and All For One happening. It happening the exact same, and Deku does United States of Smash, knocking All For One directly out, with everyone screaming in a joyful symphony that All Might won. Then All Might puts his fist out and just does that he doesn't do the whole point thing. He just does his fist up and then goes unconscious. Then everyone visits All Might in the hospital with Deku there with a box of chocolates. And then All Might says, thank you. And that's where I'm going to leave things right now. Hope you liked the video. I will see y'all later. Comment if you like the video. Yeah, anyways. See y'all later. Hope you have a good day. Bye.